Hey guys, I'm Tom Ivey. This is my place back here behind us. Barbara and the Elizabeth River Project, we've been together now for 2.5 years, almost 3 years. You know, talk a little bit about the project, I guess. It was a wonderful project. I actually sent Barbara yesterday some before pictures and after pictures. When I first looked at this property, I've got good vision, I feel like, but I didn't have enough vision to be able to see for it to turn out like it did now. There was cinder block, there was roadway, there were tires. I mean, everything imaginable had just been thrown. It was a junkyard. I mean, it really truly was. These guys came in, they cleaned it up, they you know, helped support me, and I was clueless. I've never lived on the river before, and I don't know what made me want to live on the river, but I finally decided I want to live on the river. But they came in and really walked me through everything. I mean, from the permitting process to help me find a person that could, you know, help arrange to the permits for the pier, for the floating dock. They've been there every step of the way.
It's very collaborative.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It really was.
And especially with Bay Environmental having them come out to do the designs.
Bay Environmental and Jim were really good. When they came out, you know, we had a couple little whoopsies. We had some of the sand ran completely off into the middle of the river over there, over top of the core logs. Bay Environmental came back out, added more sand, added more in there, structured it a little bit better. I mean, they were very good to work with. Very good to work with.
Yeah. What drew you to doing this approach versus a revetment the whole way across?
You.
Me?
Yeah. I really couldn't see, you know, I had only thought about putting a bulkhead up or putting something like this up, and Barbara was actually the one, well, if you do this, number one, we'll give you some grant money to help support it. But number two, we'll take it all out of your hands and arrange everything for you and come out here and do it. And, you know, I can remember her pointing across over here. She says, you see how that is, how that's grown up over there? Except it's going to be 10 times better. So really and truly, she's the one that really talked me into it. It was a big undertaking because you're seeing what we've got here for it, but it actually goes all the way around the whole other side, halfway down the other side. So it was a big.
400 linear feet?
If you say so. Yeah. I can't remember, but
something like that.
Yeah. But and now actually, I don't know if this is a good time to talk about it, but Joe and his crew over there, they were getting ready to start a new project where they're taking some of the crab pots that have been lost in the river. I guess they pay the crabbers a little bit of money for the crab pot. They're taking them and dipping them in concrete, and they're going to make another oyster bed on the other side there using those crab pots so the fish can swim in and out of them, and it's putting some more oyster shells on that side. So it's just been, I mean, it's been a good project all the way through.
What made you open to us doing experimental work on that side?
Probably you again. Barbara is a very calming influence, and she says it'll be okay. Just allow us to, you know, to do this, and you'll see the results. And you know, it's all about saving the dolphins. And I told Barbara, I actually took some pictures here. It's probably about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit less, but I saw dolphins back in the river. So, and for me, not being an environmentalist, but enjoying wildlife, enjoying hunting and fishing, obviously, you know, for me, it was about bringing the water quality back up. But to really be able to see it as it reflected, I mean, even this side, which is not environmentally correct, there's oysters growing like crazy all on the bottom of them, besides all on the bottom of the oyster castles. That was a cool project, real cool project, the way that's done and how it stood up over time. I mean, it's really good.
So a lot of people don't like that, they're worried about the naturalistic look being too messy, but you have a really beautiful buffer of native plants here. What made you decide to go that route instead of just you know, formal landscape planting or just lawn?
Casey. You know, it's nice, really and truly, for me. It doesn't all boil down to money, but the fact that they've got these grants that they were able to give us to help participating in this, it made it a lot easier. I mean, to stand here and sit here and say that this was inexpensive is not correct. It was very expensive. But when you got Joe and Barbara and Casey and those guys helping you monetarily through it, it makes it a lot easier, and it saves your land. But we went with those buffers because they were all native, and we wanted to look natural. We wanted to be something that when I walked out here, I'm very proud of. Whether I'm walking from where you guys are standing back to the house, or walking, sitting out on my deck and looking out here, it's beautiful. I mean, it really and truly is. It's gorgeous. You know, talk a little bit about the wildlife, you know, that it has brought here. I mean, I've got foxes that'll come up here. I saw an otter. We have a native otter that spends his time down there at the end of the oyster castles. Didn't even notice him. One night I'm out here fishing, I hear scratching noise. I'm like, what in the heck is that? And it's him over there taking the oysters and trying to, you know, get some dinner at night. So that was really cool. But, you know, and of course all the fish have really come back in here now. I can remember when I was first out here fishing, one of my neighbors says, well, you're never going to catch anything out there because nothing comes in here because of water quality, which is not the case. It really has. It's you know, it's brought them back in here where I enjoy doing the fishing.
And what kind of maintenance requirements do you have to do on a weekly or monthly basis now that this is well grown in?
You know, when you guys came up, I don't know, I forgot to remove it, but when you guys came up, you saw my little grabber. That's the only really kind of maintenance I've had to do on this.
Pulling out trash?
Is pulling out trash.
Okay.
You know, I had a piece of wood floating up this morning, so I got that out of there. But pulling out trash, you know, styrofoam containers that have floated up or bags that have floated up, stuff like that. But the maintenance has really been zero. I mean, it really has. You can kind of look back at the edge there, the native grasses they've gotten so big now, they've kind of fallen down a little bit. If we had done this 2 months ago, they would have been standing up so high that you couldn't even see the bottom of the house. They really were. So I'm assuming that's going to be some sort of maintenance that we're going to have to do, you know, a little bit going forward with it.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the hiccups that we encountered during the project? After we were done with construction, some of the items that popped up that we needed to address?
Well, one of them I already did address, and that was the fact that we lost some of the sand on the northern side of it, over top of the core logs, which actually Bay Environmental and the Elizabeth River Project came back out and put a lot more sand in there. There was a lot of runoff. To back up a second, I actually did all of this before I even started building my house. So I had all of this done and in place, which obviously made things a lot easier for everybody. But as I'm doing the house, we kind of scraped everything off because you got big trucks coming in there, and we had a lot of runoff, which actually what it was doing, it was taking all the water and it was making the plants and everything that were up here on the top side of there, they were actually, you know, going away, they were eroding away. So Joe and his crew actually came back out, put more core logs up on the bank up there, not just around that corner, to help stabilize all of that, and it's been perfect ever since.
Yeah, we put in some straw wattles to make some repairs to the existing silt fence that was there, because he's right, we were seeing the water flowing all the way down and forming rills in the sand and pushing some of the patents out of the way, and that took 2 days.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that was good. I mean, you know, I know this is supposed to be about the Elizabeth River Project and how, you know, they've helped me, and you know, I'm probably the biggest advocate they've got on the river, but really and truly for a homeowner, it was a blessing. I mean, it really and truly was. I couldn't have done it on my own. There's no way I could have had the vision that these guys have had, the monetary support out of it, but they didn't have to persuade me to do this. I would have been more than happy to do this, you know, with it, because it has been such a good project.
Yeah, and the funding partners for this, we had assistance from the City of Norfolk, as well as National Fish and Wildlife Foundation, a specific grant focusing on the eastern branch of the river.
And I will tell you, and this is a fact, that if you are building on the Elizabeth River and you don't have the Elizabeth River Project support, things are a lot slower with the city of Chesapeake. A lot slower. They have connections with everybody everywhere. The environmentalist with the Norfolk Planning Commission love the Elizabeth River Project people. They, you know, they're a breath of fresh air for them, because I, as a consumer, can't come out here and do whatever I want to do. They kind of run the interference. They're like, they're not going to like that. They're going to want this. So for them, when they come out, it's like, here, where do I need to sign? I'm good. You've got the Elizabeth River Project with us. We're good.